Welcome everyone, I'm absolutely thrilled you're here. Today in this explainer, we're going on a pretty fascinating journey. We're going to map out the digital world, literally starting right from the room you're sitting in right now, and then expanding outward until we've wrapped around the entire globe. We're breaking down the absolute core foundations of communication networks, LAN, WAN, and the internet. Let's get right into it, shall we? All right, let's start at the micro level. Look around your living room, your home office, or maybe the local cafe you're sitting in. Have you ever actually stopped to wonder how the laptop on your desk, the smartphone in your hand, and say the wireless printer over in the corner actually talk to each other? Like, how does a document magically get from your screen to the printer tray without a single physical cable connecting them? Well, this invisible web of local communication is exactly where our journey begins. Section 1. LAN, your private space. So to answer that question we just asked, we first need to understand the fundamental building block of digital networking. And we call this a LAN, which stands for Local Area Network. This is the baseline scale. Think of a single house, a school computer lab, or just one specific office building. A LAN is basically a private, closed loop, designed entirely to connect devices that are physically close to one another. It's kind of like a localized, highly secure conversation happening right inside your walls. Your computer, your phone, your smart TV, when they're on a LAN, they're part of this really exclusive club that's strictly limited to that small physical footprint. Yeah, here's an aha moment for a lot of people. The crucial point here is that devices on a LAN can share resources, like files or that printer we talked about, entirely without the internet. No way, right? But it's true. If your external connection drops, your local network is actually still alive and kicking. You can still beam a document from your laptop to the network printer or transfer a massive video file to the computer next to you. It's a completely self-sufficient offline ecosystem. Moving on to Section 2, WAN, connecting cities. So what happens when we scale things up? If we need to step outside a single building, let's say you're running a bank with branches across totally different cities, a LAN is just way too small. Those bank tellers in all those different locations need to access the exact same secure customer database. And that brings us to the WAN, or Wide Area Network. We're no longer talking about a single building anymore. We're zooming way out to a national or even continental scale. A WAN essentially takes all those isolated private LANs and connects them together across vast distances. Now, the physical reality of how this actually happens, it's some serious engineering. You obviously can't just run a standard Ethernet cable down the interstate. Connecting buildings that are hundreds or thousands of miles apart requires heavy-duty infrastructure. We're talking about dedicated leased communication lines from telecom companies. We're talking about massive bundles of fiber optic cables stretching across entire land masses. And get this, when laying cable just isn't possible, they literally beam data up to space and back using satellite connections. It's large-scale engineering bridging the geographical divide.
Section 3. The Internet, the global network.
All right, so we've gone from a single room to spanning a whole country. But we aren't done zooming out just yet. When we expand our imagination to the absolute macro level and connect every single WAN and LAN on the planet into one massive unified system, we get the internet. It's the ultimate culmination of our journey. It's effectively the world's largest wide area network, linking billions of devices and millions of smaller networks together. And the real genius here isn't just the sheer size. It's the fact that it uses unified protocols, a universal set of rules, so that a smartphone in Tokyo perfectly understands a server sitting in London. And guys, the physical infrastructure of this global WAN is just mind-boggling. We are talking about massive submarine cables resting right on the ocean floor, literally physically connecting entire continents together. This planetary-scale web of hardware and unified rules is the foundational engine for all the digital services we rely on every single day. Because without this massive infrastructure, there's no web, no email, no streaming your favorite shows on Netflix, and definitely no competitive online gaming. All of those services completely 100% depend on the internet's global reach. And this brilliantly illustrates our entire micro to macro journey all in one place. Down at the local scope, you've got the LAN. It has small, limited capacity, perfectly suited for something like your home network. Step up to a wider scope spanning cities or countries, and you've got a WAN, which links those LANs together for something like corporate bank branches. And finally, at that massive planetary scope, you reach the internet, linking billions of devices via those unified protocols to power streaming, the web, and gaming. It's just a perfect step-by-step evolution of scale. Next up, Internet versus web. Before we wrap up this explainer, let's shift gears for a second and clear up a really common misconception. Consider this an expert tip straight from networking technicians. People very often use the words internet and web interchangeably, like they're the exact same thing. but they are profoundly different concepts. The internet is the physical infrastructure. It's the miles of fiber optic glass, the satellite dishes, those ocean submarine cables, and the routers. It's the global highway itself. The web, on the other hand, the World Wide Web, is completely different. The web is the traffic. It's the collection of websites, pages, and documents that actually travel over that infrastructure. Simply put, the web is the cars driving on the highway. You can absolutely have the highway without the cars, but the cars, they're not getting anywhere without the highway. So to leave you with a truly memorable golden rule today, consider this quote from our source material. The internet is the highway or the tractor, the web is the cars or the payload moving on it. It just perfectly cements everything we've talked about today regarding this incredible global infrastructure. We've gone all the way from the localized LAN in your private room to the massive ocean-spanning highway of the internet. Which really leaves us with a fascinating question to ponder. If the web as we know it today is just the current traffic, what brand new, unseen virtual vehicles are engineers building right now that will be driving on this global network tomorrow? Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.